So hi, Vaughan.
Hi, my name is Vaughan Risher. I am the CEO of Muse Ovations. This is my partner, Joel. We are here at NAMM debuting our 8-track audio, 8-track MIDI groovebox sequencer called Beatwarp. Here it is. It's got a lot of exciting features, but the most important one is the 4-joystick sequencer. Instead of using a grid, we use 4 directions for each quarter note. Each 16th note can be controlled and actuated by those joysticks. If you click the joysticks, you can flip-flop between the current setting as well as the opposite. We have a crossfader to fade between timbres on the audio tracks, as well as between the scenes on MIDI tracks. We have internal effects, really exciting, fun rollers for selecting different options. We have automated sliding and warping of those notes, as well as randomization for each of the tracks or each of the quarter notes just by clicking random and selecting. The other really cool feature here is the RGB lights. All the lights on the box are RGB, so we can do some fun, exciting animations that can keep you entertained as well as your audience. But one of the most important things that we like at Muse Ovations is live performance. So one of the great features about Beatwarp is your sequencer is viewable not only by the user, but it can be viewable by others from the front of the box. So move your light, you can see the lights from the front. That way, if you have other bandmates who are performing with you, or if you have somebody watching, they can follow along.
So what are these? What do the 6 faders across the top do?
Okay, those 6 controls adjust the settings for the different modes, as well as the CCs for the different MIDI tracks. A and B lets you select different scenes, and the settings are saved in the scenes for both MIDI and audio.
So in terms of like audio generation, what is the kind of method there? Is it samples or what?
We have samples as well as synths selectable per audio track, and the synths are digital, and the samples obviously are digital too. But the synth routines are homegrown from our company, as well as the brain. One of the awesome things about our product is we developed our own brain board called Trinity Brain, which has 3 dual-core processors that enable us to make sure that we can distribute the load across them. So MIDI is on its own channel. So are the lights, and so is the screen. That way, they don't slow each other down. It's important when you're live to make sure that everything runs according to plan. What you're seeing right now is the debut, meaning this is not quite ready, but by the end of the summer, we are launching a Kickstarter to do the release.
So in terms of I/O, what have we got on the back here?
Okay, we have 2 standard MIDI jacks in and out, as well as 2 1/8-inch MIDI jacks in and out. We have 1/4-inch outputs on the mains, and we have 2 input jacks for audio, as well as powered by USB and a micro SD card slot and a phone jack. The inputs are for sampling. You can input your own samples. We haven't yet decided exactly how we're going to handle the live sound that comes through the input, but at the moment, it's about connecting to your preferred sampling source. That way you don't have to disconnect between your different sample setups.
Cool. So I can see here that some of these like faders, they're like 3D printed parts. Is that
They are. Actually, there's 2 important things about the faders, and as well as the 3D printed parts. One, the main fader, the crossfader, is InnoFader, which is an amazing. You check this. You got to show them. The InnoFader is an amazing product. It's super badass, capacitive, non-contact fader. So the cross-fading experience is going to be fun. All of the I/O buttons at the moment are 3D printed, but the production model, all the keycaps are silicone, harder silicone, and we're still making decisions about which parts are going to be injection molded and which parts are going to be 3D printed. But we've come a really long way with 3D printed manufacturing, and we've found some amazing high quality providers of parts that we can source at large volumes without compromising quality, even though they're 3D printed. In fact, another product that we could talk about uses 3D printed light pipes. This is a 3D printed light pipe, okay? If anyone looks at this who's manufacturing, they have no idea. They thought this was injection molded. The quality, and it doesn't have to be a compromise.
So one other thing you mentioned obviously was the MIDI tracks. So how do they work? Because you've got
Say that again.
the MIDI tracks. So you've got some.
Shift and any direction you go to the MIDI tracks.
So there's 8 of each. You select the tracks with this stick. You can see right now we're on the MIDI. If you want to switch back to audio, you hold shift and click that direction. It goes to the audio version of that track. And if you want to see them all at once, you can visualize the whole thing. So that is 1 bar of 16 tracks right there on the screen. And when you're in the master mode, which you're in right now, these LEDs are a summary of the overall of all 16 tracks. It is sort of just an idea of how full they are. It's not necessarily going to be easy to understand unless you become a master of it, which I know you're gonna, because once you get one of these, you won't be able to stop playing with it.
Brilliant. Well, do you have a kind of idea on? You said the summer, but do you also have an idea of price, or are you kind of?
I know 100% that it will be under $1,000. We don't know exactly what the price will be, but I'll tell you right now that if you follow along with us and if you join in on the Kickstarter price will be lower than the retail price, guaranteed.
Brilliant. Well, Vaughan, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sonicstate. Hi to everyone out there.